Okay, so here we are at the course homepage and we're ready to work through a problem module. So I want to show you one of these and then all 14 of these follow the same pattern. So I'm going to click on problem 1, the fuel tank, and the first thing I get is a short video that explains a scenario about a fuel tank here. They're typically always about a minute or less, and you click on it and get the scenario. On purpose they are vague because you're going to try and determine what kinds of things you would need to find out in order to solve the problem that will be presented there. So then you click next and you're taken to a place to do a discussion post. Make sure you answer the questions in the prompt here because to get the full discussion points you need to address these questions. So it's asking you some questions about what you saw. You don't spend any time researching, you just think. So it should just take a few minutes and you shouldn't have to go anywhere for it. You may not get it right, you may not be on the right track, but the idea is you show in your post that you've thought about the problem and tried to connect it with things that you might know and get an idea of what you might need to find out and so forth. So the points are not from correctness but on thoughtfulness. Okay, after you get those done, then you're going to click next and you'll be ready to start learning the content. Now remember, once you make a discussion post, the next day you want to go respond to a couple of others in your group. So as you get into the content, if you've just left the discussion post, there is going to be a response video that gives you a little more information because it was vague. Now it'll tell you a little bit more about it and kind of give you a direction for where you're headed. So that's kind of fun to watch to see how you did on your analysis and then get an idea of where we're headed. After that, or for every content page, you will see objectives. This page is for learning about volumes by slices and the washer method. So first there'll be a link to the textbook that goes over this whole thing. If you'd like to read that and see the examples and so forth, that's a great resource. It will always have content videos. These content videos will cover just like you'd come to class and learn content. So I would take notes on them, have them for reference. Then typically after you learn the content, you want to see how you apply it to some problems. And so these example videos will take that content learned and apply it working some problems. Now I'm going to actually go on to another page because this first one was kind of an introductory one, the very first one in the course, so there was a lot of extra words and explaining there. So I want to go to just any typical one. So you'll see the objective, you'll see the textbook reading, you'll see the content videos, you'll see example videos. Students were having some trouble with the written homework assignment, so I've added a few more example videos there. But at the bottom of every content page, you'll see this link that says homework. And homework will consist of 3 things, what we call P's, M's, and W's. P is for practice, so let's click on the practice first. And it will take you to a page where it's going to ask you to work on some problems for practice. You will find those problems from the textbook in the exercise set. So I have it referenced right there so you can get at it easily. You pull up the textbook. So this is the section that goes over what we're learning on those objectives. And at the end of this section there's the exercise set. So you can scroll down and find the exercises. And here are the ones, and you work the numbers that it tells you there. And you should write up all of the steps. And then once you get those done, you can click on the solutions page and you can open that and have a look and see how you did. You can check your answers, and if you aren't sure on a step, you can look back through. I try and give you some detail and show you how I went about working them so you can check your answers. Now this is the time to get help if you don't understand something. These were kind of some basic ones to say, do you have the idea here? And if you can't do those or can't get something right, you need to ask questions. So you can just simply send me a message, and it's helpful if you say, I was working in 6.3 number 127 and I'm having a problem, and you can explain the problem or ask the question, or you can take a picture of the steps you wrote and attach the picture, and I can look at it and look through your work and go, oh, well, this is where you went wrong. You were on the right track, but you did this or that. So I'm here to help you, but you've got to ask. I need to know what you're stuck on, what you're having issues with, what you're not understanding, and if you ask me, I will help you, and that's what I'm here for. After you get the practice stuff done and get any questions answered, you're ready to move on. So I go back to the content page, back to the homework list, and I'm ready to work on the M. The M is for MyOpenmath, and again, a lot of times I have to click the continue button to load it. So there's 7 questions that you complete in MyOpenmath that are about this volumes for shells section, and you have to get them right to get credit. You get 3 tries. If you try and submit and it's not right, it'll just mark a red box and you can go back and figure out why and then get it it right. After the third try, it'll mark you wrong, but it will give you a link there to reattempt, and it'll give you a little different one of the same type thing. So you can get 100% on these if you're willing to work at it. Again, if you have questions, you can say I'm on 6.3M, question 3, and I can't seem to get it right. Here's my work. Can't figure out what's going on. I can look at that and tell you, or you can say I don't understand how to set up this piece or whatever, and let me help you with it. After you get those done, at the top of all the M pages is our return to content page link. So I go back there and I've completed P and M. I'm now ready to do W. And W is written homework. So the written homework will have something that you write up and submit to me. And by the way, every time you submit things to me, I need them as a PDF. And the reason why is I can grade them, I can annotate them if they're PDFs. I can open them and write on them, send stuff back to you, and it's important for the feedback. So I need you to do that. If you take a picture with your phone, it needs to be clear, but a lot of students, that's how they do it, and it works nicely. There are free converters to PDFs. I know CamScan is one. There's others students know about them, or you could Google them, put free JPEG to PDF converter. And a lot of students just have an app on their phone, take a picture with their phone. The app makes it a PDF, and then they upload it. So it's doable, and it's not hard to get as a PDF, and then that way I can make annotations on it. Feedback on your written homework, or if you send it because you're having problems, I can circle where you're having a problem and I could write down whatever. So submit them as a PDF. When you have it ready, you just simply click here, submit assignment, and then you go in and you upload it and submit it. So there's always a return to content page here. So I'm going to leave without submitting it here. That's what it didn't like. Okay, so I am totally done with this page. Then I can click next, and it'll move me on to the next page. If there's more content to be learned before you can solve the problem, it'll be another content page. If you've learned all the content, you're ready to go back and solve the problem, like this one, you'll be at the solution page. So here is the fuel tank problem, and now this gives you the information you need so that you can write up and submit the solution. So you'll go ahead and write that up and submit, and after you get that submitted, when you click next, it's going to take you and start over with the next problem. So it's the problem presentation. You first watch the video that explains the scenario, and then you continue on. Now anytime you can click your home button and you can go back to get your index, so you can go to whatever problem you're working on. So that's how you work through a problem module. It always follows that same pattern.